Look what I did, you guys. I found Lance Twig's cousin. I wonder if he wants to talk to me. Oh, hey guys, listen, nothing shady to see here at all, okay? Nothing shady to see here at all. Don't worry, okay? This is definitely not going to set off the alarm bells of every conspiracy theorist in the entire world when you find out that the director of national intelligence was looking into foreign actors who may have been involved in the Charlie Kirk assassination, and Kash Patel, notoriously having been accused of potentially being compromised, in the direction of a certain foreign country in the Middle East, is now shut it down. Shut down the investigation into foreign agents potentially being involved in the Charlie Kirk assassination. So I don't know, guys. Maybe let's take a look and see if there's anything to talk about. By the way, I'm going to be talking about this particular topic at 5 p.m. Central today with JD DeLay and Valhalla VFT, and Heavy Duty Country might join. He's going to be a game time decision. So definitely put that on your calendar and don't miss that. All right. So let's take a look, right? And by the way, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And then if you ring the bell, you'll get the notifications and all of that stuff. I've been having people reach out telling me, they're like, I'm having a really hard time finding your videos. It's because I'm in jail because I got 2 18 pluses and 12 other demonetizations over a 2-month period, which I guess is my bad, dude. But yeah, if you guys subscribe and tell your friends, that would be incredibly helpful. Okay, so Kash Patel shuts down Charlie Kirk foreign investigation intelligence probe in explosive feud with Trump's counterterror chief. Okay. Now, I've made no secret about the fact that I was skeptical, very skeptical on a foreign actor being involved in this, only because I thought it was so brazen that I'm like, they don't have the balls, dude. They don't have the balls on American soil, but this has my ears perked up. Okay. Between the Google searches now that are going on in Israel, they're like, how would you kill a person that took your money and was running an organization called TPUSA, and now they're saying they're not going to do what you say anymore? You're all, wow, that is a specific Google search. They're all, what? They're all, how would you kill Charlie Kirk at the university, Utah Valley University? You're all, who searched that? They're all, well, it came from Netanyahu's, computer. You're like, that seems pretty damning. And now Kash Patel, I'm pretty sure that he has a very interesting romantic relationship that people should look into. Okay, FBI Director Kash Patel crushed efforts by Tulsi Gabbard's closest advisor to see if a foreign power was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Why would he do that? You know what I mean? Why would he do that? The head of National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, analyzed FBI files to determine whether Charlie Kirk's alleged killer received assistance from a foreign power. Why would he be worried about them looking into that? Okay, let me repeat that sentence to you. The head of National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, analyzed FBI files to determine whether Kirk's alleged killer received assistance from a foreign power. Why would you be worried about that? That doesn't threaten your case. That doesn't threaten your case at all. He's actually not even questioning who did this. Okay. Now the FBI, I understand if they're worried about someone, worrying about damaging their case against Tyler Robinson. That I understand, but that's not what they were doing. They were looking into whether he had assistance from foreign adversaries or allies, and he shuts it down. Why? Okay. Kent's investigation alarmed Patel, who believed the counterterror chief was overstepping by interfering with an ongoing FBI investigation, according to the New York Times. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that. We're going to look at that too. Wait, what just happened? So what? Like I can't click. They're all the New York Times. I click on New York Times and it's like, no. No one said that you can go to the article. We're just saying the New York Times. Kirk was shot in the throat by a high-powered sniper rifle. Sniper rifle, while speaking to college students at Utah Valley University on September 10th. Tyler Robinson, 22, was charged with the murder and now faces the death penalty if found guilty. The Times spoke with supporters of Kent who claim he was doing his job by chasing down any leads to ensure no foreign groups were involved in Kirk's death. Yeah, he is doing his job doing that. There is no, how is that even debatable? That's exactly what his job is. a major political actor in the United States was murdered, and there is plenty of circumstantial evidence that a certain nation in specific, and then also many other nations, would benefit tremendously from that action being taken. How do you know that China's not trying to start a civil war? How do you know Russia's not trying to start a civil war? How do you know that Israel didn't take out Charlie Kirk because of all of the reasons that we know? How do you know that, Kash Patel? How do you know? How do you know? You don't look into those things. That's not what the FBI does, right? Unless I misunderstand your position, right? That would be Department of National Intelligence. Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, what are you worried about? Why would you not want them to do that? Unless maybe someone told them to do it. Because here's the thing, man. Okay. Someone told Kash Patel to go on Joe Rogan and pretend that there was no evidence of Epstein trafficking little girls, when we know that that's a lie. We know that's a lie. Virginia Gouffre validated that was a lie, in addition to the fact that the DOJ guy that got caught on the O'Keefe hidden camera also verified that's a lie. He's the director of the FBI. You telling me that you didn't know that? So who told you to go do that stuff? Who told you to go cover up the Epstein thing? Right? Because I think it's being covered up. I've been very open about this, and I made an entire video about it. And guess what? It's the worst performing video that I've done in months. Weird. And what I said was that Epstein files are being covered up specifically because Israel is the one who has them, and Trump is doing this gigantic $50 billion deal in Gaza with them. And that's why they are asking him to cover it up. And Trump is like, okay, so maybe Kash has points on that package too. You know what I mean? Maybe Kash has a piece of that, because Kash is clearly doing their bidding by going out and lying and pretending that there is no evidence of them being of them trafficking women. That's just not true. It's just not true. If I know that's not true, then he knows that's not true. So if he's going to do their bidding there, maybe he's doing their bidding here. After Patel discovered Kent had gone through FBI case material related to Kirk, the Kirk killing, a tense White House meeting was held to discuss the matter. A roundtable meeting between Patel, Kent, Gabbard, Vice President J.D. Vance, White House Chief of Staff Susie Willis, and senior DOJ officials was held at the White House. Kent told administration officials that he was granted access to FBI files by a low-ranking agency official. Okay. Listen, I like to think, and then this is Joe Kent right here. That's Joe Kent. Man, he's jacked. I would like to think that he is out there doing the Lord's work, trying to figure out if we got here, right? But I guess there's also the listen, dude, they can compromise anyone. It's possible he was looking just to see if they know anything. Bottom line is, let me tell you something right now. This story, for the first time, indicates that, in my mind, you really, for real, have to very seriously look at foreign actors. And you guys have never heard me say that. But this, if you really think about how this plays out, either Joe Kent is looking because someone asked him to look. He's like, hey, what do they got, dude? What do they got? Right? And then Kash is blocking it. And you're like, why would you have a problem with him looking at this? Because maybe someone told Kash, make sure no one looks at this. You know what I mean? The White House meeting was so tense that it was little was accomplished, according to the Times. Trump administration officials were worried that Kent's probe into foreign interference could provide ammunition to Robinson's defense lawyers, who could then argue more than one suspect was involved in Kirk's murder. Sure. Because what they were looking into was whether he had foreign assistance. The FBI and DOJ have traditionally tight regulated evidence in active criminal investigations and prosecutions. Under the direction of Kent, the Counterterrorism Center collected material from other intelligence agencies regarding potential foreign ties to Robinson, as well as evaluated any potential foreign funding from individuals associated with left-wing groups such as Antifa. Isn't that exactly what he's supposed to be doing? That's literally exactly what he's supposed to be doing. You know? So, yeah. There have been long-standing issues regarding jurisdiction between Gabbard's office and the FBI. It is not clear if the FBI or the Counterterrorism Center is still investigating whether a foreign power assisted in the murder of Charlie Kirk. The Daily Mail reached out to Kent and the FBI for comment. The FBI and intelligence community, under the direction of President Trump, will leave no stone unturned in the investigation of the investigation of the assassination of our friend Charlie Kirk, said Patel and Gabbard in a joint statement to the Times. Okay, well, I would really like to know that you guys are definitely looking into potential foreign aid in this crime then. Like, that's what you're verifying? Just making sure. That's what you're verifying, right? Kent was confirmed as lead counterterrorism center, lead the counterterrorism center back in July, where he has focused on disrupting narco-terrorist cells and cartels. Before joining the Trump administration, Kent unsuccessfully ran for Congress in 2022 and 2024 in Washington, auctioning himself as a MAGA loyalist. The former CIA employee and Green Beret veteran is known for his non-interventionist foreign policy views. Well, I like him, dude. I like him a lot. I don't like finding out that, people are getting in between them and the truth. Now, let's take a look at this since we're already on Tulsi. Okay, so Tulsi Gabbard drops a political nuclear bomb. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard just confirmed what the deep state never wanted you to know. Russia wasn't the only one sitting on explosive secrets. Barack Obama knew Hillary Clinton was mentally unfit for office and said nothing. The original intelligence report described Clinton's quote. Okay, this is during Obama had this report. Quote, intensified psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, and heavy tranquilizers. Nice. Yet Obama withheld a national security threat from the American people and engineered a conspiracy to overthrow the U.S. government, the very act they later tried to pin on Trump. A psychopath in the White House, sedated and shielded by the establishment. What could that have led to? Blackmail, espionage, World War III. The truth is darker than anyone imagined is finally coming out. Yeah, and let's also be clear about something, okay? Because I watched the thing where the guy who had been investigating them on the, on the server, and he's convinced that, the server was intentional and that she was feeding promises to foreign adversaries. Listen to this.
One of the most significant pieces of evidence that was revealed in that report we released yesterday is the fact that Russia claimed to have very, very damaging information, high-level DNC emails relating specifically to Hillary Clinton's physical and mental health, and DNC leaders questioning whether or not, if elected, she would even be capable of carrying out the duties of the presidency. Russia had this. If they wanted to swing the election for Donald Trump, they would have released it in September, October of 2016 at a pivotal time to swing momentum into Donald Trump's direction and damage Hillary Clinton's campaign. They did not do that deliberately. They understood that Hillary Clinton would likely be the inevitable president of the United States. They didn't think Trump could win, like a lot of other people. And so they were withholding this damaging information about Hillary Clinton and planning to release it in the days or weeks leading up to her expected inauguration, in order to once again sow chaos within the United States.
Yep. So there's that. Okay. Now, if you want to support the channel, it would be incredible if you would watch this this ad right now on Prize Picks and go sign up, because they are an incredible help to my family and my channel. It's NFL time, and that means it's time for you to join Prize Picks. I don't understand. What's daily fantasy? I'll explain that later. What you need to know right this second is that if you deposit $5 and put it in play, they will guarantee give you a free $50 regardless of whether or not you win with that $5 entry fee. Wait, I deposit $5 and I get $50 back regardless of whether I win. Yes, that's correct. So that'd be a 10x return guaranteed. Yeah, that's correct. So who wouldn't do that? I don't know, man. You tell me. Everybody is doing it. So tell us what else we get aside from $50 free. Well, you get to play the best daily fantasy game on the entire internet. Talk to me like a child and explain to me how to play. Prize Picks could not make this game more simple. You're going to pick which sport you want to play, and then you're going to start picking players that you're going to add to your roster. Then we're going to decide whether they're going to get more or less than the stat line provided by Prize Picks. We're going Shedeur Sanders, and we're going more because we are eternal optimists. Let's say you want to start small and you put $5 and play on your first roster. You can win up to $187.50. But if you're a big baller and you want to put, let's say, $50 in play, you can win up to $1,875. But let's say you are a big wallet gangster and you want to put $500 into a single roster. You can win up to $18,750 if all of your players deliver. Now, we also got some new features coming in with this new football season, and you're going to be able to play the same player up to 3 times with 3 different stat lines if you want. It's already live on Major League Baseball and WNBA. When you go to Prize Picks, you use the link in the description and you sign up and you use promo code JesseOnFire, you are going to get a free $50 once you put $5 in play. Use the link in the description, sign up using promo code JesseOnFire, put in $5 in play, and get your free $50 back. That's a 10x return. You are welcome. I love all of you guys. Let's go. Oh, Lance Twiggs is missing 6 weeks after the political assassination. I wonder if they're dead or if the feds bagged him up, like this person said, and they're in hiding. Oh, that's nice. They use the female pronoun. That's nice of them, you know. I don't know about you guys, but when I think about conspirators in a political assassination, it's important that we use the proper pronouns. I think. Here we go. So as if the misgendering of her wasn't bad enough, she had nothing to do with any of this. Why are you hounding her? That is just kind, you know? They were literally just roommates. Stop slandering trans people, you disgusting pigs. No, they were not, actually. No, they were not. Tyler was turned out by Lance. This is verified now. So, Lance Twiggs has not been seen at the shared apartment, Utah, since October of 2025 and is believed to be staying with family. Twiggs' vehicle remains parked at his parents' home, with recent Venmo transactions from his father suggesting he is nearby and not a fugitive. Twiggs comes from a strict Mormon family who disowned him in 2018 over issues with drugs and excessive gaming, but reconciled in recent years. Neighbors and former acquaintances describe Twiggs positively as a great kid with straight A's and no prior trouble. That's interesting. Apparently, they haven't read the Substack showing a schizophrenic, drug addict, weirdo, alcoholic who turned out a straight kid and almost certainly planned this assassination with Tyler. Yeah, no charges have been filed against Lance Twiggs. Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting too, isn't it? I hope they sue the F out of you for slander and defamation. Goes missing. He has nothing to do with anything. Get over it. How the fuck would you not know that? Do you know what I mean? Like, lady, be kind to everyone. Why, it's a nice thing to say, but why are you confident saying that they have nothing to do with this? You don't know them. You think trans people are incapable of committing crimes? It's like, what are you talking about, dude? This person hasn't been charged with a crime. This article is completely out of line. No wonder they have to hide. Is this serious? This is really, these have to be bots, right? This really? He's my cousin. Bet he's in Fed protection or at the family's huge beach house in Hawaii. Huh. Really? I believe him, yo. He said he's my cousin. Let's see if this person has anything else to say. So I think out of all the pardons that Trump just handed out, I'm the only one that was considered a victim in 3 different federal cases. Sean Briggs, Carl. Okay, so those must be crypto things. That's interesting. I wonder if that's true. No one goes missing in 2025. That fool is dead. Or he's in Fed protection, or he's staying indoors and just doing what he always did under fake accounts. So he's just gaming under new accounts. We should be asking if Lance Twiggs is even a real person. That's an excellent question to ask. I agree. Oh, this person said again, he's my cousin and he's real. Okay. All right. So that really is his cousin, dude. Interesting, dude. It says, transgender lover of Charlie Kirk, alleged killer, has seemingly vanished from his hometown. Lance Twiggs has been on the down low since, you know what, you guys? I'm going to DM this dude. I'm going to see if this guy wants to talk to me about Lance Twiggs. Oh, by the way, though, speaking of massive political scandals that everybody should have seen coming, GOP-led oversight committee says Biden pardons signed by Autopen are void in final report. So wait a minute. You're saying that Joe Biden, while having 4th stage cancer and dementia was not in charge of all the decisions that he was making. I mean, like, you know, when I saw that he couldn't figure out which direction was the correct way to walk off stage, I thought he's probably rock solid on those, the evaluations that he's doing related to the, pardons and, I believe it was stopping all natural gas exports to Europe. You know, like that seemed like in the middle of the Ukraine war. It seems like that would help the enemy. I don't know what. So hurt our allies, help our enemies. I wonder what his thoughts on that were. But we found out that he had no idea that had happened, that the command had come from someone in his inner circle who almost certainly was not being bribed by either an energy company or a foreign adversary, you know, most likely. So let's just take a look at what it says in the report, and then we're going to look at one other thing. We got one other thing to look at. Former President Joe Biden's had experienced such cognitive decline while in office that it remains a serious question as to whether he was aware of the substance of the various pardons and commutations signed in his name via Autopen. Yeah, hey, it's a big question. Like, it's a big question whether or not he knew, you know, aside from the one that he did for his son. Like, aside from that one, I'm sure he knew about all of them, right? They're all, do you think that we should pardon Fauci? He's all, pudding. They're like, no. Pudding is after we make one of the most important decisions related to, you know, meting out consequences to a bad actor who shut down the country, you know, led to $10 trillion of new money printing, likely going to lead to the collapse of the economy at some point in the near future due to, you know, what they did during the pandemic, which was by design. But yeah, no, I mean, pudding is your answer. Let's just use the Autopen. The committee deems void President Trump's executive orders that were signed using Autopen, and the committee determines that action by the Department of Justice is warranted to address the legal consequences of that determination. It wrote to Bondi in the letter released Tuesday morning. Like, you have to be kidding. I can't even believe that this is even this is even controversial. Okay, a machine pretended to sign these papers as Joe Biden. Okay, it's a machine. Joe Biden did not sign anything. Okay, look at this. What is an Autopen? What's an Autopen?
House Republicans today released their report on former President Joe Biden's use of the Autopen. GOP lawmakers have urged the Justice Department to investigate President Biden's use of the device, calling it part of a, quote, cover-up of his cognitive decline. Now, that raises the questions, what is an Autopen? How does it work? And was it only used by the Biden administration? CBS News reporter Elaine Quijano has the answers.
So the Autopen, also known as a robot pen, is a machine that replicates a person's signature using a real pen or writing tool. The devices use pens or other writing instruments to place a person's signature on documents, books, or other papers, such as in the case of a college president, for example, who would otherwise be required to sign hundreds or thousands of diplomas for graduating students by hand.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with that Autopen being used for that, you know. I don't have a problem with it being used for book releases, signed books, as an example. I would imagine that there are a lot of UFC fighters and other athletes that would love to implement an Autopen for their number of signatures they have to do on, like, memorabilia and things. But when it comes to important legal documents that require the President of the United States' signature, I would say Autopen should probably not be a thing, you know? And I realize Obama used it. I realize that Trump used it. I know. But I don't think that they used it on things like pardons that they were not aware of, right? I don't think that it was being used when they were so mentally declined that the people who were sticking the documents under the Autopen could rely on the fact that they would never find out they did it because their brain couldn't remember which direction to walk off of stage after they're done talking. Something tells me that if they can't remember after you're done with your speech, walk left, they're probably going to have a hard time remembering whether or not they did, in fact, give the order to sign XYZ that's going to have global implications. I'm just saying, I have a feeling that they felt pretty safe doing that. This is, like, if they don't invalidate those pardons, I don't know what to even say about it, you know? In fairness, though, I have a feeling that everything that they did during COVID is why you have so many people voting the way that they are. It's going to be a pretty insurmountable, challenge to try to get people back on your side after you betrayed us the way that you did, But whatever, we'll see how it plays out.